Gotcha, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Irish Whiskey Sunday. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. I'm really excited about this stream. It's one of my favorite brands. And so let me know what you guys are drinking in chat. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe, all that fun stuff YouTube likes us to do. I'm going to be starting off with one of my favorites. So this is Clonakilty Galahad. This is a really nice blended whiskey. It's available in the US. I really enjoy it. So let me know what you guys have in your glass today. Let's say hi to some people. We had Mr. Mom 310 in here. First thing, I got to hang out with him just for a little bit this morning on Scotch Down Under on Ken's stream from Australia. I'm always excited when I can catch Ken's stream. We have Mr. Peter White. Cheers, Stacy and everybody. Cheers to you, Peter. Hey, Chris Jenkins. Cheers, Stacy and chat. It's good to see you, Chris. I have also linked the pinned the link to Clonakilty Distillery. So this is pinned at the top. If you're curious about any of their releases, there will be, I think there is something on there that will launch it to the US. So they even have a US store. You can check all that stuff out. Check out about some of these great whiskeys that we're going to be trying today. Cheers, all you magnificent Irish whiskey drinkers. Cheers to you, Bourbon Neophyte Anthony. Anthony will be going live here at 7:30 tonight. Cheers, Josh Fritz. Good evening to you. Hope you're having a good one. We have Douglas Papa. Good evening, all. Cheers, Doug. It's good to see you as always. Let's see if I got everybody. Anthony, drop your link to your stream in here, so everybody can jump over that. I did not see one for Kilco, so I don't know if he is going live tonight or not. Thank you, Anthony. Remember, everybody, to smash that like button. Yes, I was a couple minutes late. We got chit-chatting. So I was just a couple minutes behind today. It's been a real kind of chill Sunday. Not even gonna lie, I've been kind of just enjoying the laziness of the day. Hey, cheers, Dave Vogelsang. It's good to see you. Woohoo, free like button. Amy O'Byrne. Cheers, Stacy, Sean, everybody watching. We have the Clonakilty Stories and Sips in the glass. That is a very, very good pour. And since I don't see him in here, you guys, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be having Mr. Perry from This Is My Bourbon podcast. He is going to be on here. I've got a blind flight of Irish whiskey, and I'll have to actually look. I can't remember if I sent the Stories and Sips or the single pot still, but I did send a Clonakilty in there. So we'll see what the bourbon drinking Perry thinks of all this Irish whiskey. I've been excited. I've been talking to Perry about coming on here forever, so I'm really excited about that. Hey, cheers, Debbie. How are you doing? Hey, Roman Carter. Cheers to you. It is good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. We got Miracle Martinez. Cheers to you. Trying to get through everybody here. I missed somebody. It bounced on me. Oh, there we go. I see him now. Mr. Bourbon Engineer. Who is this Clonakilty you speak of? I wonder. Hey, cheers, Mike Meyer. It is good to see you. Eric Gunderson, cheers, 4-Leaf Whiskey, and everybody having some Clonakilty Port Cask. That one is a very good one. That is kind of my go-to for my Irish coffee, is that Clonakilty Port Cask. It is really nice. Try to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Whiskey Uncensored. Let's get Kalani. Ben was on here last with me with Irene Tan, and Ben, I've actually was already talking to Sean about this 15-year-old sample that I clearly have none left, and I'm going to end up getting a bottle of that. That was so flipping good. That's honestly one of the best whiskeys I've had all year, to be perfectly honest. It's crazy. Made it to 82 degrees here in Las Vegas. I can't handle that. That's too hot. It's been like 75 here, and I'm kind of glad we're getting a little bit of a cold snap again. I'm not ready for summer. I'm not ready to deal with that. Not quite yet. There we go. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, everybody, we'll wrap up here. Make sure you jump over, catch Bourbon Neophyte. All right. I am going to introduce my guest. Please help me welcome Sean Scully from Clonakilty Distillery. Hi,
Hi,
Sean.
Tracy. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying this. This is so good. I really enjoyed the galley head, and this is pretty. This is available in the U.S. Is it pretty widespread? Is it a few states?
Yeah, it's we launched that in the US probably I think it was probably September of last year ish. And it's slowly been rolling out since then.
Mhm.
So we're in a number of states. We're not in all the states we'd like to be in at yet. But yeah, slowly rolling it out. So we have it here in Oregon. I think it just actually got a listing in Ohio as well. So
Oh,
you'll be seeing
really?
that on
Oh,
Ohio
that's
here.
really good news for me.
So yeah, big news. We're excited because it is our entry level whiskey and it really gives us good exposure. So yeah, can't wait till that's rolled out to you guys.
Yeah, this is a great one. Honestly, as soon as I tried this, we don't buy Jameson or Bushmills anymore. We picked this up. I really enjoy this. This is kind of my go-to. Just nice entry level whiskey, nice flask whiskey.
Yeah,
We
good daily drinker.
Yeah, I had the other one and we already went through that one. So I finally had to crack this one open
Though
for
there
St.
was
Patrick's
a
Day.
different
Yeah.
color Valley Head, was it?
Yes, I had the what is it? Kind of a fuchsia label.
Oh yeah, like the reddish one kind of.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
reddish one. Yeah, yeah.
that's a blend.
Yeah, I had the
Possible
one.
grain blend.
Yeah, I had that one
Fantastic.
from Ireland and then this one. Yeah, I blow through these pretty quick. We had a
Always
lot of people saying hi in here. Hi, Sean. Amy. Amy is a big fan. She's drinking the
hi,
story
Amy.
from Tips.
Good to see you again. Yeah, good to see some familiar names in the chat. And yeah, God, I think this is my third or fourth time on the show, Stacey. I don't know.
I think it's third, I think.
Heard, yeah. So delighted
Clonakilty
to
is
know
very popular in the whiskey tube community. So we like to see you out here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, I just poured myself some galley head as well, so I'll be joining you with a couple
I
of
have
drops
some a
tonight.
little more then. So for the people who aren't familiar with Clonakilty Distillery, can you kind of tell the few people because I've seen we have some new faces in here. So tell people about Clonakilty.
Yeah, I'll keep it really brief because I'm sure lots of guests have probably heard our story before, but for those who haven't, yeah, so we're located down in the southwest of Ireland in County Cork. The distillery was founded in 2016. We opened our doors and started distilling in 2019. So it's my own family's distillery. So both my parents started the distillery. I joined them very closely after. We began. I just finished college and graduated and entered into the business. And I live in Portland, Oregon now myself. So I handle Western US operations and sales and a bit of marketing as well, whatever needs to be done really. But yeah, our story as a whole really revolves around the maritime environment that surrounds us in Clonakilty. So we're a coastal distillery, and we grow our own grain oceanside on our family farm. So we're proud to have had our own to be farm our land oceanside for 9 generations, 350 years, which is an awful long time. So we just wanted to showcase that land on an international scale, and what better to do than make good quality Irish whiskey from the grain.
We got a couple people in here that said Anthony is hoping you make it to Las Vegas soon. I've got Anthony spit on the Irish whiskey bandwagon here lately with me.
Nice. Yeah,
So
that would be great. Vegas would be a fun spot to be
he's
in.
been picking up a few new items. And Hanging Easy said he doesn't have any Clonakilty on the cart. He needs to remedy that. He's down in Arizona.
Awesome.
Cheers, Donner. It's good to see you. So talk about that. So this galley head we're drinking, this is a blended whiskey.
Correct. This is a blended whiskey. But we like to think it's extra special. Not just because it's our own product, but it does contain our own single pot still whiskey as well. So it's actually exactly this time last year, Whiskey Live, which was just this past weekend in Dublin. Whiskey Live 2024 is when we launched our single pot still whiskey, and that was the first whiskey that was 100% our own juice, our own distillate made from barley from the farm. So that was super exciting, and we've started blending that now into our our Galley Head whiskey and into the likes of our Double Oak as well. So these products do contain Clonakilty whiskey made by ourselves, matured by ourselves, bottled by ourselves. So we try and keep everything as in-house as possible. So yeah, so this is a grain pot still blend. So you got that real nice kind of light, approachable character of that grain, the drinkability of it, and then that pot still contribution just really kind of boosts the flavor profile and complexity a small bit of it. But it's solely matured in ex-bourbon casks. It's a really nice drop, just very all-around nice, easy drinker, really, to be honest. Yeah, like we were saying earlier on, just a good go-to whiskey, you know, versatile. You can mix it or sip it straight.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things I like about it. And you can get some of the same notes as the pot still. I definitely am picking up like the pear and the apple. But I like that you could mix it, but it's complex enough to have as a neat pour as well.
Yeah, and it's not the most complex whiskey in the world. You know, it's not going to blow your socks off in that sense. And like we're very transparent about that. It is, you know, it's $29.95 is the recommended retail price for it. So it's very reasonably priced whiskey, and we think it's very good quality for that price point. And then as you work your way up our line to our double oak, our single pot still, our, you know, some of the collabs that we'll touch on today, you know, things get higher in ABV, and you probably get more of a flavor bomb coming through in those.
Yeah, I knew that your single pot still was in this one. I didn't realize that you were putting it in the double oak now as well. That's really interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So it's actually been included in our double oak blends in Ireland for quite some time right now, but we've been sitting on some existing inventory in the States. So the double oak stateside right now doesn't have any pot still included in it. When you see the bottles, you might notice, and you have lots of our bottles, Stacey. So you know we have our old bottles and our new bottles. The new bottles are slightly taller and more slender. When we transition to that style bottle for the double oak, that's a pretty good indicator that includes our own juice.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is this is the new one. It's much taller and skinny.
Yeah, exactly. I'll pull that.
The narrow base. Yeah.
That's the new, but that's the difference. Yeah, that's the old versus new.
Yeah. I'm like, I know I have an old one. I don't think, yeah, I do. It's up there. I'm like, I know I almost drank all of the Whiskey Miners pick that I have 2 weeks ago. I left myself a little.
Holding out to the last drop.
Yeah, that sherry one is so flipping good. My Sherry more.
Yeah, I actually haven't tried that one, but I've heard a lot about it. It's meant to be a nice drop. Yeah.
It's really good. It is a good one. Dave, it looks like you have some reason to celebrate. You're retiring at the end of May. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to retire. I would love that. Peter says there's lots of Clonakilty in Alberta. Slim pickings everywhere else in Canada. Peter is in the Toronto area. But I will say Alberta does have some really good whiskey, and they have quite a bit of Irish. Yeah, everybody, congrats to you, Dave. This is this is an enjoyable one. So you were talking about Whiskey Live. So for those of you who don't know, Whiskey Live was Friday, Saturday, just this past weekend. Whiskey Live Dublin, huge deal for Irish whiskey. And Clonakilty was there, well represented there. So tell people, kind of talk about Whiskey Live a little bit for those of you who would like to go over to Ireland to Whiskey Live. Like myself, would love to.
Yeah, Whiskey Live is absolutely amazing, and I 100% recommend it to anyone here. If you're a whiskey enthusiast, whether you're into, you know, it sounds like everyone here is probably into Irish, but even if just into bourbon, it'd be a great trip to make to just introduce you to the Irish category as a whole, and, you know, try some of the whiskey from the bigger distilleries, but also the smaller producers. Yeah, it's grown a lot in the last couple of years. I don't know how many years have you been there, Stacey? Or you said you have.
I have not been. No, I haven't been to Whiskey Live yet. I really want to go to Whiskey Live.
Yeah, it's grown a lot in the last couple of years. I was there last year, and I hadn't been present for a couple of years other than that because I've been stateside. But yeah, the growth's been brilliant. It's in the RDS now in Dublin, and just a fantastic buzz around the place. I think they do maybe 2 sessions a day, 2 on Friday, 2 on the Saturday. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, people are very well behaved and there to just try a good quality whiskey. And obviously some people overindulge a small bit, but
It
that's to be
happens, yeah.
expected. But people are. It's not just a complete just drunk fest at all by any means. It's connoisseurs and people just interested in learning about Irish whiskey are dipping their toes into it. You can't go to get better place, to be honest. So it's really exciting. We normally try to do an exclusive release for Whiskey Live also. So as I said, last year we launched our inaugural release, the pot still at it. So there's big interest in the brand then. And this year we did a single pot still Madeira cask finish. I think it was bottled at 51% ABV, and that sold extremely well at the show. So it's always nice when people come up to the stand saying that people sent them over to try their whiskey. It was because they loved it. So it's always great to get good feedback in that sense.
And it's really cool. I don't think a lot of people, I mean, we're used to the bourbon festivals. Obviously, I'm next to Kentucky. So I knew about the bourbon festivals and I had learned about Whiskey Live Dublin. Like there's an Irish whiskey festival that's similar to what we have here. Although I think you guys do at Whiskey Live Dublin, there's a lot more releases than we ever do. So that I was really excited to see the Clonakilty had a release for Whiskey Live as well. Because I mean, I've seen other brands that have had them, but Madeira is interesting.
Yeah, no, it's fun. All right. I mean, I'm not sure how many years now they've done these exclusive releases. I know Celtic Whiskey Shop has always done a Celtic cask or something, or a charity bottling.
I've never been to Whiskey Live, but a couple of their bottles may or may not have made their way into my house.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Well, when you get over there, book a empty suitcase because you'll be filling up.
Oh yeah.
Full to bring back. But yeah, no, it's nice to always have an exclusive release. It just kind of creates that extra buzz around the brand and just incentivizes people to come to the stand and try some under the table kind of pours and stuff like that. It's always good time.
So speaking of your release last year at Whiskey Live, I'm going to go to my next pour here, which honestly I think is quickly becoming one of my favorites. And I know that Chad has heard me say this. I think this is one of the best values for single pot still that's on the market today, and that is your single pot still Irish whiskey. This is such a phenomenal pour. 46% ABV. So I appreciate the nice bump up in ABV. And so this one is available in the US now?
That's available in the US. That is available to our online shop as well if you want to access that through our website. And we ship to I think it's 48 states. But yeah, so this is the whiskey released in May of last year in Ireland. It was about September by the time it hit the US. But it's our most historic release to date for sure, given that it's the first release that's 100% our distillate. So very proud of this whiskey. It's been received really well. I'm not sure what batch you probably have. Do you have batch 1? Or?
I believe probably. My bottle is from Ireland, so it probably, I'm assuming.
You should say it on the front left.
Batch 1.
Yeah, batch 1. So
you mean a giant text that I completely missed? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is batch 1. Batch 1 as well. Batch 2 is currently what we're selling over in Ireland, and I think we're moving on to batch 3 soon. And we're noticing that every single batch we go through, it's just getting big. It's getting better and better, which is fantastic.
Oh wow, that's great.
We actually just received double gold in San Francisco.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that was brilliant.
Congratulations!
News. Thank you very much. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, big win for us, given that it's our first release. So that was the batch 2 that we entered into that. So it won 97 points at the competition, and double gold was fantastic. So we're delighted at that, and that's spurring us on for future releases.
I especially love, and this is something you don't see on a lot of Irish whiskeys in general, and single pot still, 100% Irish barley.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, no, that was important.
That you grew yourself. That makes it extra really special.
Yeah, well, we didn't grow all of it, but it's still important to us that we're using 100% Irish barley. It's not just 100% Irish barley; it's 100% Cork barley. So yeah, we grow as much as we can on our family farm Oceanside, and then the rest of the barley is sourced. The unmalted side of it is sourced from neighboring farmers within about a 10 to 15 mile radius around the distillery. So keeping that hyper local from a sustainability standpoint is really important. And then the malt, we don't. That's kind of one thing we kind of don't have in house is a malting floor. So that comes from the malting company of Ireland. The malt does. So that's in Cork. So it's all Cork, which is great. Us Cork folk are very proud of Cork, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah. I know a few people from Cork.
Yeah, exactly. And they won't. Most of them won't shut up about it. I feel myself. But
all of them are up Cork. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's nice to have that. That was important. An important indicator to include on the bottle and to communicate that it is 100% Irish barley.
I absolutely love this, honestly. And you do kind of get that coastal salinity and citrus notes on the nose, on the palate. It's like chocolate covered apple. It is so good.
Yeah, and I get really unique tasting. All I get is a kiwi on the nose.
I get more of like a lemon or orange zest.
There's definitely a lot of citrus elements in there for sure. Lots of citrus, small bit of kiwi if you go looking for it or spend more time with it. But I do agree with you. It's on the finish is where you get that saline-like quality, and it's subtle, but it's what we were always kind of looking for in the sense that we obviously grew our barley Oceanside for a reason and wanted it to influence the grain, but also we mature at Oceanside as well. So it's nice that our first release, given that it hasn't been sitting there for donkey's years, 10+ years, that it still has this influence, and that will only become more prevalent as the whiskey gets older and older.
Well, and I love that that's on there because, like you said, your barley field is Oceanside. So I'm looking for those notes in a whiskey like that. And I love that you do get that, but you still do get so much depth in this one. Like I said, I'm getting chocolate and pear and apple and that's like spicy allspice nutmeg note. It's layers and layers that you would expect with a whiskey twice this old.
Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, we're delighted with it, to be honest. It's matured in ex-bourbon casks and also in Amontillado and Oloroso sherry casks. And I think Oisin, our head distiller and head blender, just hit the nail on the head with those options there. Really, it really accentuated this whiskey and made the best of the spirit we distilled. So really happy with it. The fact that the 46% ABV, like you said, I think is a plus.
That's a big plus.
Yeah, I think right now, I mean, I love my cask strength whiskey, but we'll get to the Great Lakes collaborate later on, which is at 48%. But I'm finding that high kind of 40% ABV is where I'm really enjoying whiskey right now, to be honest. That changes depending on seasons and stuff like that, but I'm enjoying that 46 to 50% ABV.
That's kind of where I go for as well. Like the 45 to 50 is just, I think that's a really good point for Irish. And I mean, like I said, you're not going to get very many single pot stills at this price point, and you're definitely not going to get very many at this higher ABV. I mean, it's so good, and it's such an amazing value.
Yeah. It's only $49.95 is the recommended retail price. That's what it's selling for on our website. So yeah, it's again, we're proud that we got it down to such a competitive price point. Originally, we were thinking it's going to be higher than that, to be honest. But given the current economic situation and stuff, we knew we had to provide affordability. So yeah, I think it's good value for money. All right.
Yeah, I paid more than that for this one, and I still would. Yeah, it's really, really good. I was surprised to see the Amontillado too. You don't see that a whole lot, but I really like Amontillado.
Yeah, it's a small bit outside the box. But yeah, again, I think Oisin took a risk with it, and I think it's paid off.
Oh yeah, he nailed it. It's got so much complexity. Bourbon engineer Brian says, "Cheers to Oisin. Pleasure to meet him and the team last November."
Bourbon engineer. I don't know if we share your name on the streams at all, but I probably not. But I have your coin right here, so it's on my desk at all times.
That's a good dude. He made me one.
There you go, and you have it on the desk as well.
I have my own coin now.
Yeah. Also, he gave my father one as well when I was on Zoom to him the other day, and he was playing around with his coin as well. I think everyone just keeps it on their desk, and it's like a fidget toy or something.
I love it. Yeah, I said it's the coolest thing I have with my logo. I love it. Yeah, he brought back some amazing samples. One of them was the single pot still. That was my favorite by far. That was so nice. I love the balance of the sweet and the spicy with that one.
Nice.
Yeah, Tom says the price point is spot on. Though I know Tom's a big Clonakilty fan as well. Oloroso sherry cask. Yeah, it's got some. This is Oloroso and Amontillado, and it is nice. It is very nice. And I love that I do go back to it, and I can get more and more and more. But like the first sip, I can get it, and like, wow, that's chocolate covered apples.
Yeah, I get chocolate covered oranges. So
oranges, yeah.
Yeah,
like I get apple the first one. I get chocolate covered apple.
What's called Terry's chocolate orange.
Yes, yeah, the Terry's chocolate orange.
Or like Jaffa. I think I might have said it before. I could maybe
like Jaffa cakes.
Yeah, Jaffa cakes is something I definitely get as well.
I think Jaffa cakes, like most people know, but some people don't know. But those Terry's chocolate oranges, everybody knows what those things are. Hey, Cool Running. Hi, Stacy, Sean, folks in chat. Sláinte, Cool Running, one of my favorite Irish viewers here.
Sláinte.
Sláinte to you, Brian. I appreciate it. I had so much fun doing that. This is so yummy. So if they go to the website, they can either purchase this if you're in the US from the site. And does it list the states that this is available?
It doesn't list the states that's available in.
But so if it's not in your state, you can purchase this if you're in the US.
If it's not in your state, you can go to our online shop and it will ship it for our online shop. It's actually pretty affordable, to be honest. Like I think the price per bottle, like if you buy one bottle to your online shop, it's the same price as ship as if you bought like 4 bottles or something. So if you buy multiple bottles, it's actually very good value.
That's a really good deal.
So yeah, that's your best bet. I'm not going to name off all the states it's listed in now because it's
all but 2. If you're in one of the unlucky 2 states, is it shipping to 48 states?
Yeah, shipping to 48 states. Yeah. But and you'll find it in stores as well around the place. If you don't and you know Clonakilty is sold in your area, if you ask for it, that'd be much appreciated because then the retailer might bring us in.
Yeah, like I said, guys, this is a phenomenal pour for the money. I think I'm going to do my next Patreon giveaway that I'm going to do next week when I have Independent Joe on. I'm going to do a flight of, so whoever is going to be the Patreon winner, you're going to get a flight of all these because these are going to be good. So I am going to pour next the one that I was really excited about, that I had the opportunity to try. I think it was the last day of February in Cleveland at the Ohio Irish Cask and Craft event, because the Clonakilty representative surprised me. It was before the event started, and I was working the event, and everybody was huddled around the table, and I saw the Clonakilty rep, and I saw the people from Ahoscra were around the table, and Martin Kennedy from BUA was around. And so I'm like, okay, what's going on? Oh, you've got the special bottle out for this event. So we were all getting to sample it before the public did. And that is the latest release in Ohio, which is the Clonakilty collaboration with Great Lakes Brewery.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who don't know, I think most people in the U.S. know the name Great Lakes. Great Lakes is Ohio's probably most famous brewery. And this has been finished in their blackout stout cask, which was named for a massive blackout that happened in the eastern U.S. in the 90s. This is, you do these collaborations with breweries all the time, but this is unique. This is the first one I've seen with your pot still.
Yes, it is. That's what makes it extra special. Not just obviously the the collaboration itself is special, but the fact that this is the first brewery collaboration in the US that is a single possible makes it even more appealing in my opinion. We've always done limited releases and stuff like that, but we've been kind of protective over what we've done with what kind of SKUs we've released that are single possible so far, because we've been concentrating on pushing the core release. So geez, I can probably count on one hand how many of these single possible kind of finished releases we've done, and this is one of them. So every state we enter into the US, we try and collaborate with a local brewery. It started probably about 6 or 7 years ago with a New England Brewing Company.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so that was an IPA finish, and we've done, we just released another one here in Oregon with Pelican Brewing on the coast. But yeah, we always try to collaborate with a brewery who has a tie to us in a sense, whether it's an ethos or location, whatever it may be. It's nice to have that connection. So Great Lakes Brewery was founded by two Irish brothers of Irish descent. So that's the tie right there. And like you said, it's finished in their blackout stout casks. So that's an imperial stout. I believe it's bottled. It's bottled about 9%. That stout.
Yeah, it's a higher proof, higher ABV.
Yeah, higher proof. I haven't tried the beer myself, but by all accounts, it's fantastic. And after those casks are disgorged, we air freight them to Ireland. So you can't just send them on a ship. You have to air freight them so they don't dry out. So that's fast enough. So it's kind of expensive, but well worth it. And then we finish our whiskey in those casks. So the whiskey will have already been matured in bourbon casks, and then we finish. Normally it's about 6 months, but this cask, this release spent 12 months finishing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and we bottled it then at 48% ABV. I only got my bottle during the week, and I've been enjoying it over the weekend.
I love it. So I got to try it before you did.
Yeah, you got to try it before I did. You said it's delicious, and I'll take your word for it. I
48%, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been really enjoying it. I think it's fantastic.
I was excited because I don't think it was even listed on the state's website yet when it showed up in Cleveland, and I'm like, okay, as soon as this event's over, I'm gonna grab a bottle to take back to Columbus.
Yeah.
And no, I wasn't, because it sold out.
It sold out.
It sold out that event, yeah, at that store.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's only 900 bottles made of it in total. So that's really, really limited. Like even by the scale, like the Pelican release we did here in Oregon now is 3,400 bottles, which is still very small, but 900 bottles that can go very fast. But it's it's a fantastic whiskey. I think the single possible juice is brilliant and lends itself very well to the finish. It really does have a full oily, viscous mouthfeel. That's one of the things I noticed up front, and it has that kind of high ABV punch like we were talking about earlier on. It's 48% ABV, so it has that strength behind it, but it's not overly strong. It doesn't kind of knock you for six or anything like that. It's where I would land as my perfect whiskey, to be honest.
Tom says so. It's 2 casks worth. He's asking.
I'm not exactly sure how many casks were sent over, to be honest, Tom. I think it was probably 2 or 3 casks.
Yeah. Well, and Blackout Stout, for those of you who might not know, it's not a regular release in the lineup. They don't produce a lot of it. It's not like it's something you're going to find in stores, nationwide. I think it's just something. I had it at the brewery, so it's not a big release on its own, but it's phenomenal. And so I was very excited to see this. And this is Ohio only release. So if you know people in Ohio, have friends, family traveling through, if you go to ohlq.com, that is the Ohio liquor website, and you can find stores in the areas that have these. These are in the major cities. I can tell you guys, here in Central Ohio, it is flying off the shelves. I had to go to 2 stores to find one. And there was only one more bottle on the shelf where I got this one. So people are thoroughly enjoying this one.
Yeah, snap it up while you can.
Yeah,
It's,
I
it's
can tell you that so after the Cleveland event, the following day there was an event in Columbus, and the Clonakilty rep he said he was happy because it sold out in Cleveland, but he didn't have any for Columbus.
oh,
So he was
really?
jealous because he didn't get to try it the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a different person. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun to push those local collaborations as well because just the interest
Yeah.
is next level when you
The
have
interest
something
was
like that.
definitely there. I mean, even among the other brands that were at this
Yeah,
event, everybody wanted to try this.
yeah. But it's
Oh
not.
man, you
It's nice that we have this release. That's just come out, and then we're going to have the Galley Head now coming to Ohio as well. So people are going to
yeah.
be introduced to the brand through this local tie, and then we're going to be introducing this fantastic entry level whiskey for people to enjoy on top of that. But there's a really interesting palate to this whiskey. When I was tasting it there over the weekend, one of the really unique notes I was getting was blueberry. I don't think I've ever had. That's not in our official tasting notes, but something I was pulling from it. It's almost like
Mhm.
those. Do you know you can get those chocolate covered blueberries at
Yeah,
the stores in
yeah.
America? That's something I was getting, which I thought was really interesting. And then you
Yeah,
do
I
get
do
that.
get a berry note on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I also do get like almost like a salted kind of treacle caramel, like tasting note
Yeah.
on the palate also.
Yeah, the stout cast definitely brings that chocolate up even more.
Yeah, definitely. A bit of coffee in there as well.
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say it does kind of reminds me of like the coffee I make in the morning where you get a nice dark roast black coffee with some like caramel syrup in it. But yeah,
Definitely.
now that you're saying I was kind of getting a berry note and I was kind of leaning toward maybe a blackberry, but I think you're right, it's blueberry.
Yeah, I've never tasted blueberry in a whiskey to be honest, so I thought that was unique. But yeah, it's really nice job. I think what we discovered as well is like these stout cask finishes for whiskey,
Mhm.
like they do work. I mean, the IPA ones are
Oh
really
yeah.
interesting and unique, but like the fullness of a stout really kind of comes through in the whiskey. Like it's not
Mhm.
just that single postal mouthfeel. I think the stout really contributes to the mouthfeel of the whiskey at the end of the day also.
Yeah. And I'm not getting as much spice as just the regular single pot still, but you're right, the sweetness, the chocolate, the coffee, the caramel is all getting kind of amped up.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
there is a bit of spice in there, obviously, because you will get
Mhm.
that with the pasta, and I think that's enjoyable.
There's
But
some spice in there, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I think again that the stout cast kind of mellows it down a small bit
Yeah.
in a sense.
It's really nice. I've been enjoying the heck out of it, and looking for another one. I'm gonna end up picking another one up at this. It's a really nice whiskey. I'd been stalking it for a while and I was surprised that I kept checking the website and one day I checked, I'm like, oh heck, it's in Central Ohio now. And by the time I even got to the store, it was already gone off that shelf. So
Yeah.
it's been popular.
And to be honest, one thing I forgot to check on because I don't handle Ohio for ourselves, but one thing I forgot to check on was the price of it. But I'm
Oh,
pretty
I can check.
confident it's very affordably priced as well, isn't it?
It is. It is. All of the Clonakilty, honestly, in Ohio is very
Probably
affordably
like
priced here.
69.99 or 74.99
I
or
think it's 69. Oh no, it's even oh my you gotta be kidding me. 54.99.
well, there you
That's
go.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
with me
crazy.
even that's a steal.
So even with tax, yeah, you're getting out the door for $65. That's crazy. Not yeah. Well, that explains why I had trouble finding it. But no wonder everybody's buying well. Tom says Galleyhead is on the shelf in New Hampshire.
Yeah, it is. It's really exciting. Yeah, another control state we're in, so that's brilliant. We're really excited about that. And New Hampshire have been great to us. We've done, God, I think we did about 8 barrel picks with them.
Oh,
So
nice.
a lot of that's still left over there in all the shelves. So be sure to try some of those barrels. But yeah, no, New Hampshire is an exciting one for us. We're looking forward to seeing where that goes.
Well, and we had talked about that I'd had Irene Tan here a couple weeks ago, And I got talking to her about how she got into doing Irish whiskey picks, because honestly, her store was one of the first places I'd ever seen Irish picks done here in the US. And a lot of them were the Clonakilties. And she talked about Christmas cake being the favorite one she'd ever had. And I agree, because mine's gone. I drank that one. And then the 15-year that, yeah, clearly I hated it. It's gone. So if you are in the Rhode Island area, check out Canterbury Liquors. Some of the best Clonakilty picks.
Definitely.
She has so many of them, and they're so good.
Yeah, I've never met Irene, but yeah, by all accounts, she's a very trusted palate. So I'm sure she's
she has phenomenal palate. I've never met her in person, but she's going to be coming to Columbus to some distilleries here. So I had talked to her about connecting when she's here. Yeah.
Fun.
This is so good. So I do have one of your other brewery collaborations from another state, and it's the blend. And I like it, but this is with the single pot still. It just really does work with that stout.
Yeah, I know it does. I think it's the single pot still has just been a fantastic addition to everything we've done recently. Just even our core releases, the fact that it does have they do now have a single pot still in it. They're just the pot still is taken to the next level. So it's always looking good. We're very delighted with where we're at, and things are only going to get better as that juice matures even more so. So onwards and upwards, I suppose.
So is this going to be a common thing for you to do the new brewery collaborations in the single pot still? Is it going to be one you're going to have to really decide what, if the barrels, whether it gets a blend or a single pot still?
Do you know what? I would say that we've kind of toned back, I suppose, a small bit on our brewery collaborations. Initially, it was kind of COVID, I suppose, when things were kind of up and running, I suppose, and everyone was gun ho about limited.
Yeah, everybody was buying everything during COVID.
Yeah, so everything, it was like a very, very different market at the time. So there was multiple brewery collaborations coming out a year from us at that point. I think we're kind of slowing down a small bit now. We've really honed in on our core offerings, being the galley head, the double open, the single pot still, so that the main concentration is really pushing those guys. If opportunities come to us, we'll definitely consider them, and if they're right, we'll go ahead with it. But it has been kind of a refocus of ours to really knuckle down on the core offerings, rather than spread ourselves thin with multiple whiskeys. So, but that's we're always going to do something that's stuff that's outside the box and exciting. That's kind of in our nature, I suppose. So that's not to say that we're going to get one-dimensional in any sense. There's always going to be fun stuff coming from Clonakilty.
And I think that's one of the things that I especially love about Clonakilty. You guys do push the envelope. You try different finishes that we haven't traditionally seen in Irish whiskey from the big names. So that's been one of the things that attracted me, because stuff like, a Rivas Saltes cask isn't something you commonly see. Even Amontillado, that you did a core product in Amontillado, it's not something you typically see.
Yeah. No, it's a good way to differentiate yourself as well, with just being unique. But yeah, we're always just testing, and we're not going to put stuff out there that's not good either. Everything that's being put out there is signed off by Oisin, and he's very confident that's fantastic quality. Yeah. Something that people might be interested in, and we're still kind of figuring stuff out right now. But Stacey, obviously, you're involved with the Clonakilty Crew Facebook page, the community-run group. So I suggest everyone join that if you'd like. But we're going to be kind of launching. It's going to be like a whiskey club, I suppose, in a sense. So our newsletter is going to transition to being a whiskey club. It'll be free to join, and we will be releasing limited release whiskeys here and there. So that's going to be run out of Ireland. We're still figuring out if we can ship to the States for those releases. But yeah, hopefully we'll get the community involved in that as well. Maybe people can decide, what finish we release, or what type
that would be really neat.
Yeah, or else maybe even involved in the label design. We want to make these labels unique and maybe involve some artists. So yeah, I suggest maybe joining that group, and you can be involved in those decisions potentially.
Okay, so I just shared the link to the Facebook group. So if you are all on Facebook, make sure that you go over and join the Clonakilty Crew Facebook group. All your Clonakilty news is going to be on there. If you get a bottle, everybody wants to see it. Share. Let us know what some of your favorites are. It's a lot of it's a lot of fun, and we've had giveaways. And I might be thinking about another one.
Yeah, we should definitely do another one.
Yeah, I'll talk to you off screen. I'm thinking it's time for another giveaway. I haven't had one in a little bit, so I'm thinking it's time for another giveaway.
Let's do it
on the Clonakilty Crew page. So Brian says he brought a sample of the Christmas cake and blinded it with the Riva Saltis sample okay, I know which one you're talking about. I finished third and it beat it. Yeah, that Irene Tan Christmas cake was really good. So Brian had one of the samples he had was a Riva Saltis finish, and it was sourced. And the one Irene had that I think O'Sheen blended that one. That one beat it. That bottle was so good. I can tell you, if anybody who follows my Instagram, my annual Christmas video with the Christmas lights and the fire in the background and the Clonakilty bottle, that's Irene's Christmas cake that I have to share. Keep resharing the video because the bottle's gone. I drank that.
Oh, really?
She doesn't have any more. So. Yeah, she doesn't have any more of it, unfortunately.
Maybe
here's Gandy Road. So Gandy is. I don't know if you're a resident of Ohio, but I don't know if you have picked this one up yet. This is the Clonakilty Great Lakes release that we're drinking. And it's really good and crazy price. I had no I picked it up. I was just thrilled. I think I was just, kind of thrilled to find it and kind of here's my money. But I didn't realize that it was $55. That's crazy.
Well, obviously, either did I, obviously. So there you go.
I'm like, what?
We're all pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. I think the bottles are such a good deal. And like I said, I love that you guys are giving us what we want here, which is a little higher ABV in all your bottles. So
yeah, that's the way we normally would go for limited releases. I think there is a trend towards whiskey connoisseurs who tend to look for the limited releases, enjoying higher ABV whiskeys. So that's the way to go. But that's not the only reason we go that way. I mean, all our whiskeys are always blended to be cut to be off of Sheen's palate, so he decides where it's going to land up. So we were never set on 48% ABV for this necessarily. Sheen cut down to multiple different ABVs and ultimately decided that this is the best place to land. So
he picked well. This is really, really nice. It's like I said, I was impressed, and I actually had to put this away, knowing that we had our live stream coming up, and I'm like, well, I can't drink it all. So I put this away for a long time because I've already gone through half the bottle.
Yeah, well, you might need to buy a case before it's all gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get more of this before it sells completely out. Hey, cheers, Forlorn Hope. So I grabbed another one just to do one last pour here. And it's one that not everybody's going to get, but I really enjoy it because it's another example of your single pot still. And that is this, the one that was done for Stories and Sips. And this is, I believe it's a virgin oak matured, and it's 53%. So a little bit higher up. And I'm bought another, and honestly, if he's got any more, I might buy a third because I blew through this. This is so good. This, I've shared this with many of my my bourbon drinking friends, and they absolutely love it.
Nice. That would make sense. They like it being virgin oak. But you know what? I've actually never tried that whiskey.
Really?
And it's part of the problem being over here in the US, and everything's made over there, and it's so far away. But sorry, I'm going a bit blurry here. But I can imagine it has some really good spice to it, being single pot still and being virgin oak finish. So you'll get that kind of that single pot still spice, but also a charred oak spice coming through. caramel, vanilla, heavy, I assume, right?
Yeah, as soon as I mean, you knows it. Honestly, you could put this in a blind with some double oak bourbon, and it would be. I mean, it still comes off as Irish, but I mean, it would be tricky. It gives off the double oak vibes. I
Yeah,
mean, it's so nice.
that's
Like I said,
that's
I've shared this with many of my bourbon friends, and they have liked the heck out of this one.
nice. Yeah, Barry had his eye on that cask for a long time. I think we did. Oisin did a tasting up at Waterford
Wow.
Whiskey Festival, I believe it was.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was at the Waterford Festival.
or was
Yeah.
it Waterford or Wexford? Is there one? I can't remember.
I thought
But
it was
anyway,
Waterford.
this is before we released a single apostle, so Oisin pulled a sample from one soul cast to pour it, and it was the virgin oak finish. And yeah, Barry loved it, and he had his eyes on it, and he locked it down a year or so later, and we released it with Stories and Sips. So that was a really exciting one.
Tom, I think I might. I got another one, thank goodness. I don't even think I have a full dram left in that one. Like I said, I haven't drank it all myself. I have shared it out, but yeah, I have a backup, and I'm probably gonna get another backup. It's really, really good. And like I said, on the nose, it comes off. You could line this up with double oak bourbon, but on the palate, you get that wonderful Irish pot still.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. You've a lot of like I said earlier on. I think we've only done about maybe like I can kind of one hand how many variations of our single pot still whiskey we've released.
Yeah.
So you have our core single pot still, you have the Stories and Sips, you have the Great Lakes. So you have all three of those, and the only other one I'm aware of right now is the Whiskey Live one. We just did finish in Madeira casks, so you're not doing too bad with those three samples.
Your single pot still really is something special. It's really nice. I think it's a wonderful example of modern single pot still. So Bourbon Engineer says Sean Scully sipping on the Bolt City collab almost last drop some soul.
Yeah. We're working on
it. And Tom says, yes, it takes the water very well. That's what I should do. I've never done that. I've never added water to it. It doesn't stay in the glass long enough for me to add water to it.
Yeah, it's something that I don't normally get around to doing all that often either. Unless we're reaching high, 55% ABV-ish, then that's it. If it's a long night on that, then I'll add a couple of drops of water later on the night when I'm trying to be more sensible.
See, these bourbon friends of mine on here on Whiskey Tube have ruined me, because now I don't usually add any water unless I'm getting up to like 120 ABV, like 60%. I'm like, all right, I'll add a little water to that.
Yeah, different ball game, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's maybe drinking a little hot. To 130, I could add a cube ice. It's okay. But yeah, this is so nice. I'm a big fan of double oak bourbons. So as soon as I saw that it was the virgin oak, I'm like, I just automatically buy more than one because I know it's not gonna last.
Were you originally a bourbon drinker, American whiskey drinker before moving to Irish?
No. I was Irish first.
Okay.
Big time Irish whiskey fan, and then just making friends through this channel, people tried to got me into bourbon a little more. And I struggled. Actually, I had a hard time getting into bourbon. Just finding, what was good, what I liked for my palate. Because a couple of things that people suggested at first, I actually hated. Sorry to the good people at Maker's Mark. It tastes like cherry NyQuil. Don't like it. Still to this day. But I've grown more accustomed to bourbon now, and I've tried to get into it more because it allows me to pick out Irish that I think the bourbon drinker would like. And I'm right now, I'm 90 minutes from the state line of Kentucky, so a lot of bourbon drinkers here. A lot of bourbon.
Did I cut out there?
I think you froze for a second, but you're still on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just lost the connection completely, so I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Oh no, I said the good thing. Since I've gotten into bourbon more, it's allowed me to kind of find Irish whiskey that I think the bourbon drinker would like. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's helped a lot. I'm very close to Kentucky. There's a lot of bourbon drinkers here.
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
do you like bourbon as a whole, or where are you at?
I'm starting to find things. I actually I like rye. I'm a rye whiskey girl.
Yeah,
Yeah. Big rye
nice.
whiskey fan. And that anything Irish that's finished in rye or has rye, I jump all over that. Yeah.
Something different, a bit more spice to it.
Yeah. I like the spicy, the minty, the herbal. Yeah. I like rye.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you. Yeah, I think there's a bit more to it. I find that rye can be a bit more interesting than some bourbons, to be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah, I'm not a bourbon hater by any means, but Irish at heart, obviously.
Same. Yeah. Same here. Same here. Yeah. Brian says no water needed. Yeah. I don't know. I got a couple bourbons that are up in the creeping up to 125, 130, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna throw a little water in that. I don't know about that. Yeah, Eric says he rarely adds water to unless it's really high. Bourbons get a little crazy. I've got a couple samples that are the hazmat bourbon where it's like 140 proof, 150 proof. I don't know.
Yeah,
You guys know how high it has to be considered hazmat. I don't know. That's crazy.
yeah, that's intense, all right. Especially when it's bourbon and it's full of tannins and all the charred oak spice. It's
Very drying.
yeah,
Very
it's
drying.
a lot.
But if I do gravitate towards a bourbon, it actually is double oaked. I like the double oaked bourbon, the French stave bourbon. So this hits right there and I think that's probably why this is a big hit with my bourbon friends.
Yeah, nice.
That has my it's going to lose my hair. Hazmat's 140 plus. Okay, I do have one that's 140 downstairs. A sample of it. So what's next for Clonakilty? So we're going to be wrapping up here. What do you want to tell people about here?
What's next for Clonakilty? God, I think you asked me that question last time as well, and I didn't have much of an insight, to be honest.
Well, you guys are pushing into more U.S. states, so that's exciting. So
people are going to be able to go. New Hampshire is a big one for us. Like the Gallyhead the Ohio and stuff. So it's really rolling out these new releases, rolling out the Gallyhead and the single pot still into the states in the US is a big focus of ours right now. The new like Clonakilty Crew Whiskey Club thing that I mentioned that we're figuring out the finer details of. That's really exciting. I think that's
going to be big.
Yeah, provide a really unique route to market for some like limited release stuff and some maybe I think it'd be really fun to have almost like a collectible element to it where there's artists involved and the labels look really unique. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So we're looking forward to that, and ultimately just creating a community. We've been in the US now for God knows how many years, 7 years or so plus. And we have a lot of fantastic Clonakilty fans, including yourself and many people here in the chat. And we haven't had a place for people to congregate and to converse and everything. So this Clonakilty Crew group and everything like that it's great. We really want to foster that community environment. We are a small distillery. We're very accessible. If you reach out to me on Instagram or whatever, like I'll message you back in probably less than 24 hours, ideally. So we're accessible and we're flexible and we want to be involved in with our fans and communicating and taking feedback and all this kind of stuff. So striving to kind of improve and create that sense of community within the brand, not just in Ireland, but over in the States and elsewhere internationally as well. So there's always stuff going on. It's always crazy, but it's always exciting stuff.
Well, Sean, thank you again for taking your time to come and join us again on my channel. Tell everybody about Clonakilty. Everybody make sure if you are on Facebook, go over there, look for Clonakilty Crew. Myself or the other admin Bob will approve your request. That is going to be the place to get the latest news about Clonakilty. If you are a resident of Ohio, I'll go ahead and make a post with the link so you can find either the Great Lakes bottle or the Gallyhead bottle within the state of Ohio. If you're having trouble, reach out to me personally, I'm happy to help you guys locate a bottle of it. I've worked enough with OHLQ and the website, I can navigate it. Obviously, I popped it up on my phone like that. So it's one of my commonly visited websites, and I'm happy to help you guys locate a bottle. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Amy says, thank you both so much. Thank you, Amy. All right, at 7:30, guys, go join Anthony Bourbon He is going to be going live. And at I think 8:00, Cast 529 is going to be going live. They're from Ohio. I didn't see them in here. I gotta do something with them. They're fun. They're from Ohio. And Clonakilty Gin is loved by his better half.
Won't forget about the gin, the minty gin.
Anthony needs a Scotch recommendation to open his stream. Anthony, I'm the wrong person for that because I'm going to recommend you open with one of your Irish whiskeys.
I'm probably the wrong guy as well, to be honest.
All right. Well, thank you all. You all have a good rest of your evening. Make sure if you're on Facebook, I hope to see you in the Clonakilty crew.
Thanks very much, everyone. And thank you, Stacey, for having me on again. I really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
Anytime. We love you here. We love Clonakilty here in the U.S.
All right. Yeah. We'll have a